Yeah, kudos to Burkina Faso president. That young Ibrahim, Tarode, or what they call him, you have spoken well. I didn't know that this video was going viral. I never knew. Somebody told me and I decided to look up to it. And I saw it. I sat down and listened to what this president of Burkina Faso was saying. A young guy. You see why it is good for young people to rule. Young, intelligent people. I was saying it sometimes that it is good now that countries should be giving the youth the chance to rule. Because they are youth. They are not there to loot any money or because they have traveled. They want their country to speed the same way. They don't want this dictatorship. Like what he said that Africans are not beggars. Africans are not beggars. Africans can never fail. Africans, yes, because I remember that, listen, development, you know that development started from Africa. It started from Egypt. Development, when the world has never been developed, even all this Europe, they have not developed. It was development started from Egypt, Africa. The first university from Egypt. But today, it's like diaspora are the people are like the colonial are like the one that developed. No, development started. This development you see, this building of structure, pyramid, all those you see, building, and the plan of building, everything started from Egypt. Egypt were the first people who started how to do tractor, how to build, with Egypt, with the Jews. The Egyptians taught the Jews how to build wall bricks and all those things. When they taught them how to do it. So eye-opening started all the way from Africa, but it was stolen because of the colonial master. They came with like this, with force, after a while, African couldn't be able to, to go through that same route again. It's like when the slave trade started coming, through the Africans that have not really had this development. And now, today they have United Nations, this and that, detecting for Africa. Like what this guy has said now is a very nice word. He has said that Africa should come together. It is good for Africa, but many of these African presidents, just because of that signatory thing, they will sign and sell their country out. Like Nigeria. I said their country to China. China give them billion. Nigeria is not the owner. It's China that owns Nigeria. And some Chinko people are selling their country to better people. Nigeria went and sold it to Chinko. That is why. I was even asking, when I traveled to Nigeria, I was surprised Nigeria was still speaking broken. I thought they would turn the broken, mix it together with the Chinko. And when you saw me to say, how are you? Say, yeah. It will be how, yeah. So it will be together because it's partnership. As partnership, so the language should be parted now. It will be how, yeah. So there will be how, like you say, like since then China too. You saw China to say how they say how their own will first start from their own first. They will have it. How then if you say wrong to run, no China run, yeah. That is it. So and Nigeria own is wrong. So Nigeria will say wrong. Then China will say wrong. In China it say wrong. Nigeria will say wrong. Since he's selling his partnership. I don't know whether they have cut it to Indian. So if they cut it to Indian and other one, I don't know how they can make how can you measure those language? As you get wrong, how can you measure all of that? The person will break down. That's why it's not good to merge. Dictatorship. They are merging by selling country. They sell it to Chinko. They try. Chinko, people are selling to better countries, selling to Chinko. Chinko is full in our country. That's all. If as you're turning like this, Chinko, you do like this, Chinko, here, Chinko. Even sometimes you go tap you at the bar, Mr. Man, can you move? I never see something. Right? So all these young youth now that is Nigeria, that's our youth. One youth run to me, run. Hey, Jimmy White, Jimmy White, Jimmy White, Jimmy White. Hey, Jimmy White. That now British is in Nigeria, all those UK and America, all those American people, all those British people, all those this thing, Switzerland, they are in Nigeria. Say, see there are plenty in Nigeria. Say, I say, oh yeah, nah. He said, come, let me go and show you them. This guy took me. As he took me, this community, only from far I've identified them finish. I say, who are they? Say they are from Switzerland, this thing. I say, is that what they told you? The small boy, I said, yes, I said, that's what they told me. I said, that thing, as I come, as the thing is, I say, the thing, I said, that's China. The guy said, I say, all these youth, they don't know China, they don't know, because they have not seen UK, they don't know UK white, they don't know this thing, so the only thing they say, so they just take China, Kinko, to be China, to be New York, British, everything, that's what they take Kinko to be. So when will they start seeing the original white, original one then? When will they start seeing those two ones? So, but what we are saying in essence is that what this guy is saying is a very, very perfect word. This guy has come with a very good word. I think I wish the African president that they will see to it and come together as one. I know that we'll have the United States. If African can come together, a lot of things that they can do, African can help themselves. African can do things. African can use their local materials. African can do a lot of things to better Nigeria. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of African out there. A lot of Africa migrating. How many of the people are migrating like that? How many of the people are migrating? They migrate and become immigration there. How many people are migrating? Go and check how many people are migrating. The time that people started even migrating to their country, to their own, they stop it. That is breast, they stop. They make sure they don't have anything. That's why you see them, because of how many of, because the people are not, the only people are only migrating to their own people because they became a European Union. This same United Nations, to help themselves. When will Africa be strong like that? African are supposed to be strong like that. Be strong. Put together all African presidents, talk about Africa, talk how they will do. But now, this thing that this man says, some of them will go and be, they will become army, but they say, that is that small boy. That small boy. We don't know the day he started wearing red cap. I don't know that he's militant. I don't know how he managed to become president of Burkina Faso, but that small boy is talking too much. What do you think? They will come between how to. But I'm telling you, the way United Nations will be looking at this, and they are not looking at it like they are looking at this guy is being, because they are supportive. They want, yes, they really want. That guy is making a lot of sense and need us. I don't want to be saying it, I just want us to listen. Even if you have not heard it, I know it has been said, this thing has gone viral, but on my page, I need to put it for people over here to hear how this guy wants to let United Nations that enough is enough. That it is time for Africans to begin to work, stick to themselves, do their things themselves, do their local, that they should leave every of the natural thing they are holding. Any delegate, they don't want no more, they want Africans are going to be able to manufacture things, Africa will be able to manufacture, because there's a lot of things that if you go through Africa, if you see what Africans are doing, if you go to some African country, if they tell the African country, you can't believe it. Like you go to Burkina Faso, go to African countries, simply go to Egypt. If you won't believe that this is Egypt. Go to countries, and they tell that this is, you say, this is, yeah, when I went to, I said, whoa. I said, this country, yeah, this is African countries. That are so beautiful, so lovely. And I wish all African can be like that. That way, our people will not be running out of the country. You can't even, okay, so just look at Egypt, how Africans are running into Egypt. These are African countries running into Egypt, they stay there, they develop, they become part of them. Morocco, all those countries. Check all those countries that have Africa. Talk less when other parts in Nigeria, other parts. I remember when Nigeria was good, how Africans were running into Nigeria. Check when Africans are all good like that. What do you think will happen? Every of the other ones that are outside will come in. All our investors will bring it in. Everything will be booming fine. Africans, this decade should be good. because of the future generation, because of those people that are walking on the street, that are trekking, those people that are not homeless, those that are migrating, those that are suffering, crying, unemployment, so many things. This is for the reason, for this praise. I am in support of Burkina Faso. President, more grace to you. I am in support of it. I wish that I have one way or the other to assist, but with my channel, I will always post you. Share this video, please. It is not that president will do it. If more friends can come out and support this word, it will be good. Let us watch Burkina Faso and see what he has said. God bless you, sir.
Delegates, heads of state, leaders of nations, distinguished representatives of peoples great and small, I greet you not as a career diplomat, nor as a man bred for banquet halls and handshakes. I do not come to you speaking the rehearsed language of polished politics. I come to you as a soldier of my people, as a guardian of a wounded land, as a son of a continent that has carried the cross of the world, yet has never worn its crown. My name is Captain Ibrahim Traore, President of Burkina Faso, and today I speak not only for the 22 million souls in my nation, but for a continent whose stories have been twisted, whose pain has been ignored, and whose dignity has been repeatedly auctioned off at the altar of foreign interests. Africa is not Tobago. Africa is not a battlefield. Africa is not your experiment, your puppet, your warehouse of raw materials. Africa is rising not to kneel, but to stand. And today I say before this great assembly of nations, Africa will not kneel. One on the false generosity of global politics. For decades you've sent us aid with one hand while extracting our lifeblood with the other. You build wells in our villages while your corporations drain our rivers. You donate vaccines yet patent the cures. You speak of climate action yet continue to fund the very forces that burn our forests and dry our lakes. What kind of generosity is this? The kind that feeds the mouth but silences the voice. The kind that keeps a man alive just enough to keep him dependent. We are not blind to this hypocrisy. Let me be clear, we are not ungrateful for sincere humanitarian assistance, but we reject a global order that disguises exploitation as partnership. We reject financial institutions that lend with one hand and steal sovereignty with the other. Africa no longer wants charity. We want justice. We want control over our own destinies. Too on the chains of colonialism and its modern descendants. Our wounds did not begin with us. They were inherited legacies of an empire-building madness that saw us not as humans, but sheep, as cargo laboratories. My ancestors were not consulted when maps were drawn with rulers and compasses in Berlin. The borders of Burkina Faso, like those of many African nations, were not carved by our ancestors, but by men who had never stepped foot on our soil, who knew nothing about languages, our tribes, or our spirits. Today, colonialism has a new face. It wears suits, it hosts forums, it signs contracts in Geneva and Paris and Washington. But it still takes without consent. It still dictates instead of dialogues. It still silences instead of listening. If you want to talk about peace, then let's begin by unlearning the arrogance that peace is something only you can teach us. 3, on resource exploitation and the myth of development. They call us developing as if the theft of centuries did not set us back, as if the gold from our lands, the diamonds from our rivers, the oil beneath our feet did not build the very skyscrapers in which this assembly sits. Let us speak plainly. Burkina Faso is rich, Africa is rich in minerals and culture and wisdom and youth. But you have taught us to measure richness in GDP and export value. You call it development when a foreign company owns 90% of a gold mine on our land. You call it progress when your security forces guard cobalt mines but not our children's schools. That is not progress, that is piracy with legal documents. From now on, we will define development on our own terms. Development that puts children in classrooms, not minerals on cargo ships. Development that respects the land, the people, and the soul of a nation. 4, on sovereignty and interference. Why is it that when an African nation makes independent choices, we are called unstable? Why is it that when we seek military cooperation outside the colonial sphere, we are labeled a threat? Burkina Faso has chosen to walk a path of sovereignty that is not a threat to peace. It is a declaration of adulthood. We are no longer under your guardianship. We are no longer your junior partners in diplomacy. We are a free people. If a nation chooses partners that respect it rather than exploit it, that is not rebellion. That is wisdom. Let it be known, no foreign power will dictate the alliances of Burkina Faso. We will build relations based on mutual respect, not historical guilt or present-day intimidation. 5, on terrorism and manufactured wars. You ask why there is violence in the Sahel. You ask why our youth take up arms. But you do not ask who benefits when our minds are guarded by private mercenaries, while our villages are left vulnerable. You do not ask how weapons arrive in deserts that produce no steel. You do not ask why peacekeeping never seems to end the war. The truth is, many of the so-called solutions to African security problems are merely business models. Endless conflict has become a market, and African suffering has become a subscription-based service. Burkina Faso has decided to break that cycle. We will fight terror, but not with dependency. We will secure our nation not with foreign dictates, but with national dignity. 6. On migration and human dignity. We do not want our youth drowning in the Mediterranean. We do not want our brightest minds fleeing the countries that once called us savages. We do not want remittances. We want reasons for our people to stay. Why do our youth flee? Not because we lack beauty, but because we are made to lack opportunity. Not because we hate our land, but because our land is treated as someone else's property. Migration is not a crisis, it is a symptom of wars we did not start, of loans we did not need, of a world order that tells our youth their only value lies outside their own homes. The solution is not border fences. The solution is justice, but 7 on Africa's place in the world. Africa is not a mistake to be fixed. Africa is not a failed continent. Africa is the womb of the world, the cradle of civilization, the keeper of tomorrow's hope. We have been made invisible in global decisions that affect us deeply. At the UN Security Council, Africa with 54 sovereign nations has no permanent seat. What justice is this? You call it balance, we call it betrayal. You speak of democracy, yet uphold a global structure where the powerful few veto the dreams of the many. We will no longer whisper in rooms where we deserve to speak with full voice. Aid on faith and spiritual dignity. We are a spiritual people. Before your cathedrals, our ancestors sang to the sky. Before your missionaries, we knew the language of the rivers and the laws of the sacred forest. Christianity came, Islam came, and we received them not as slaves, but as seekers. But now we ask, will the church and the mosque stand with us, truly with us, when all people are displaced by greed, masked as globalization? Will your pulpits echo our cries or only repeat the songs of the powerful? Faith, too, must be decolonized. It must walk with the poor, not the privileged. 9 on unity among African nations. This is not a speech from one country. This is the stirring of a continent. You see Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso forming a new bond. You fear our unity. Why? Because it threatens the myth that Africa can only rise under your supervision. We are uniting not to wage war, but to wage dignity. To pool our courage, to share strength. To protect each other when the world turns its back. Pan-Africanism is not a dream. It is our lifeline. And we will build it stone by stone, heart by heart, with or without your approval. 10 to the youth of Africa. To the young boy selling oranges by the roadside. To the girl who walks 10 kilometers to attend school. To the child whose only toy is a stone but who dreams of stars. You are the reason we fight. Do not believe the lie that your continent is cursed. You are the blessing. Do not envy foreign passports. Be proud of your name, your land, your roots. The world may not applaud you now, but the future will speak your name in honor. 11 final words we will not kneel. I do not come to declare war, I come to declare will. So we will not kneel to fear. We will not kneel to foreign banks. We will not kneel to outdated empires masquerading as friends. Africa is not asking for a seat at your table. We are building our own a table where no child eats last. Where no nation is silenced because it lacks nuclear arms. Where justice is not filtered through the lens of race or history, but shared as breath is shared. This is our vision and this is our vow. Let the world hear it today and always. Africa will not kneel. Thank you, honorable delegates, heads of state, leaders of nations, distinguished representatives of peoples great and small. I greet you not as a career diplomat, nor as a man ready